One miscalculation about Iran toppled empires. Here's the proof. There is a phrase sometimes spoken in quiet rooms of power. It is a piece of simple, stark advice. Do not mess with Iran. These are not idle words. They are a conclusion drawn from a long and often bloody history. This history stretches back over 2.5 millennia. To understand the weight of this warning, we must not rely on rhetoric or fear. We must look at the evidence. We will follow a clear timeline of events. We will examine the facts of history, from the ancient world to the modern day. This video will present the proof, piece by piece, to show why Iran has earned a reputation for formidable resistance and enduring strength. The central idea is one of resilience. It is the ability of a nation and its people to withstand immense pressure. They absorb devastating blows and refuse to break. This is the story of Iran. It is a narrative written across centuries of conflict. We will explore the reasons behind this resilience. We will consider the strategic thinking, the geographical advantages, and the cultural factors that have allowed this nation to persist. Our approach will be grounded in evidence. We will cite the great wars and pivotal moments that define this legacy. The goal is to provide a balanced and clear-eyed view of a complex and powerful history. Let's begin with a simple timeline. More than 2,500 years ago, the Persian Empire was a dominant world power. It fought epic wars that are still studied today. Centuries later, it faced waves of invaders, from the Greeks to the Arabs to the Mongols. Each left a mark, but none could permanently extinguish the Persian identity. In the 20th century, the nation, now called Iran, navigated the pressures of colonialism, a revolution in 1979, and a brutal 8-year war with its neighbor, Iraq. Through each trial, specific patterns of defense and survival emerge. These patterns are the proof we seek. This examination is not a celebration of war. War is a tragedy that brings immense suffering. Instead, this is an analysis of strength in the face of conflict. It is about understanding why a nation has been so difficult to conquer or subdue. The lessons from Iran's history are relevant not just for military strategists, but for anyone who wishes to understand the dynamics of the modern Middle East. The past informs the present, and in the case of Iran, the past speaks with a clear, strong voice about the nature of its power and the depths of its will to survive. It tells a story of a people who have learned, time and again, how to endure. A weathered map of the ancient Persian Empire shows its vast expanse from the Indus Valley to southeastern Europe. Our journey into the evidence begins in antiquity. It starts with the Achaemenid Empire, founded by Cyrus the Great around 550 BC. This was not just a collection of conquered lands. It was a sophisticated and highly organized state. The Persians established a professional, standing army. This was a significant innovation at the time. It was a dedicated force, including the famous Immortals, an elite heavy infantry unit whose numbers were always maintained at exactly 10,000. This structure allowed for long-term strategic planning and rapid deployment across a vast empire, setting a precedent for organized military power in the region. They built the Royal Road, a highway stretching over 1,600 miles from Susa to Sardis. This road was not just for trade, it was a military artery. It allowed armies and messengers to move with unprecedented speed. This infrastructure was proof of a deep understanding of how to project and maintain power over great distances. The Persians knew that winning a battle was one thing. Ruling an empire required organization, communication, and the ability to sustain forces in the field. The wars of this era are legendary. The Greco-Persian Wars, Marathon, 490 BC, Thermopylae, 480 BC. Often told from a Western perspective, they demonstrate the sheer scale of Persian military ambition and capability. To launch an amphibious invasion across the Aegean Sea in the 5th century BC was a monumental undertaking. It required engineering prowess, naval power, and the ability to command a diverse, multi-ethnic army. While the Persians ultimately faced setbacks in Greece, their ability to mount such campaigns so far from their heartland stands as a testament to their formidable strength and resources. This ancient history matters profoundly. It established a deep-seated cultural memory of imperial greatness and martial tradition. The stories of Cyrus, Darius, and Xerxes are not just tales from dusty books. They are part of the national identity. They created a foundation of pride and a belief in their capacity for large-scale organization and defense. The idea of Persia as a great power was born in this era. This psychological and cultural foundation is a crucial, though intangible, piece of evidence. It helps explain the resilience seen thousands of years later, a belief that they are the heirs to a powerful and enduring legacy. So that psychological foundation really matters. After the fall of the Achaemenids to Alexander the Great, the spirit of Persian resistance did not die. It adapted. The Parthian Empire, which rose around 247 BC, faced a new and powerful enemy to the west, Rome. The Romans were masters of disciplined, heavy infantry. Their legions were the most effective fighting force of their time. The Parthians knew they could not defeat the legions head-on, so they developed a different way of fighting. They perfected the art of the horse archer: strike quickly, unleash arrows, retreat, firing backward as they fled. The Parthian shot. The most famous example is the Battle of Carrhae in 53 BC. Crassus marched a massive Roman army into Parthian lands. He was confident of victory. Instead, Surena used horse archers to devastating effect. Parthians surrounded the legions and showered them with arrows. Crassus's army was annihilated, a shocking defeat for Rome. It proved mobility and tactics could beat brute force, an early lesson in asymmetric warfare. The Sassanid Empire refined these methods, blending Parthian cavalry tactics with heavily armored cataphracts. They fought Rome and Byzantium for centuries, even capturing Emperor Valerian. Over centuries, this cemented a core principle: adaptation. Faced with superior foes, they did not despair. They innovated: horsemanship, archery, knowledge of terrain, to neutralize enemy advantages. This legacy runs from Carrhae to modern Iranian doctrine. Its proof resilience is not just toughness, but cleverness. Adaptation is everything. The Sassanid Empire eventually fell to the Arab Islamic conquests in the 7th century. This was a huge change. It brought a new religion and language of power. But Persian culture and identity stayed strong, mixing traditions in art, poetry, science, and administration into the new Islamic civilization. Persian became the language for books and courts in many parts of the Islamic world. This cultural survival was a quiet way of fighting back. The Mongols destroyed cities. Historians say millions were killed. Qanat systems ruined. It could have broken anyone's spirit. Yet Persian identity lasted. Mongol rulers adopted Persian culture and governance. After Tamerlane, Persian culture recovered and flourished under the Safavids. They made Twelver Shia Islam the official faith, unifying identity distinct from Ottoman and Mughal neighbors. Empires fall and cities burn, but spirit can live on. Fighting back isn't always on the battlefield. Language, poetry, faith, identity. Section 5. The Crucible of the Iran-Iraq War. To find the most significant modern proof of Iran's warrior legacy, we must turn to September 22, 1980. On that day, Saddam Hussein's Iraq launched a full-scale invasion of Iran. The timing seemed perfect for Iraq. Iran was in turmoil, just 19 months after the Islamic Revolution. The old Shah-era military had been purged. The country was internationally isolated. Saddam predicted his troops would be in Tehran within a week. He, and much of the world, profoundly underestimated the Iranian response. The invasion did not topple the revolutionary government. Instead, it united the Iranian people in a common cause. The war lasted 8 long years, one of the deadliest and most brutal conflicts of the 20th century. Iraq was well equipped: modern air force, tanks, and foreign backing. It also resorted to widespread use of chemical weapons against soldiers and civilians. Iran's conventional military struggled early on. The country compensated with its greatest asset, its people. Calls for mass mobilization were issued. Hundreds of thousands of volunteers, the Basij, streamed to the front, driven by patriotism and religious fervor. The war showed Iran's capacity for sacrifice. Lacking sophisticated weapons, forces used human wave attacks. Young volunteers cleared minefields and overwhelmed entrenched positions. The human cost was staggering, yet this resolve stunned Iraq and its international backers. By 1982, Iran had pushed Iraqi forces out and took the fight into Iraq. The war ended in a stalemate in August 1988 with a UN-brokered ceasefire. Both nations were exhausted, hundreds of thousands dead, economies ruined. For Iran, the outcome was a strategic victory. It faced an invasion backed by global powers and was not defeated. It preserved its government and borders. The sacred defense became foundational. It forged a new generation of military leaders and a narrative of resistance. This is the most important recent proof of Iran's enduring strength. Beyond the spirit of its people and the lessons of history, Iran possesses a silent, powerful ally: its own geography. The country is a vast natural fortress. It is more than 3 times the size of France, a huge expanse for any invading army to cross and control. This scale is a logistical nightmare. Supply lines become stretched and vulnerable. An occupying force would have to be enormous to police such a large and populous nation. The land itself fights back. Formidable mountain ranges dominate the terrain. Zagros in the west, rugged peaks forming natural choke points and easily defended passes. Heavy vehicles are funneled into predictable valleys. Alborz across the north isolates the Caspian coast and protects Tehran, ideal terrain for guerrilla warfare to hide, regroup, and strike. Much of the interior is vast, inhospitable desert, Dasht-e-Kavir, Dasht-e-Lut, massive, waterless voids acting like a giant moat. Mountains and deserts channel invasions into predictable corridors where defenses can concentrate. Strategic coastlines: Caspian, Persian Gulf, Gulf of Oman. Control over the Strait of Hormuz is a powerful lever over global oil flow. Jagged shores with islands favor small fast boats and hidden anti-ship missiles. Hallmarks of asymmetrical retaliation. Any conflict would have immediate global economic and strategic consequences. This landscape is, well, a formidable defender. An army can have the best weapons, and a country the best geography. But without the will of its people, defense will eventually crumble. A crucial piece of evidence for Iran's strength lies in its deep sense of national identity and proven capacity for social cohesion during crisis. It is a product of thousands of years of shared culture, language, and history. Despite Persians, Azeris, Kurds, and others, an overarching Iranian identity was forged through shared experience, particularly facing external threats. When Iraq invaded, people did not fracture, they rallied. When Iraq invaded, Iran did not fracture, it mobilized. Professionals, students, workers, factories, hospitals, front lines, each part mattered. The war revealed a durable social glue. We are in this together. Sacrifice is a cultural current. Karbala's story shaped resolve. Many volunteers faced danger with startling courage. Morale became a weapon. The cost was immense, but the state endured and learned. Lesson 1. Unity under threat multiplies strength. Lesson 2. Match advantages to mission, not prestige. Post-war, Tehran rethought power, not jet for jet, carrier for carrier. Missiles extended reach, threatened bases, complicated planning. Drones added numbers, surveillance, and affordable strike options. Partners across the region created buffers and choices. Together, these build deterrence by cost and unpredictability. It is a 21st century echo of Parthian adaptation. The pattern is constant: resist, adjust, persist. That is the modern core of Iran's warrior legacy. A strong national identity, a willingness to sacrifice, a challenging geography, and a clever, adaptive approach to warfare make Iran an exceptionally difficult opponent. Any military confrontation would be immensely costly. The Iran-Iraq War is the clearest modern proof. Hundreds of thousands dead, vast economic damage, a stalemate that weakened the aggressor. Any nation contemplating such action must study this history. Long, bloody, and inconclusive conflicts often negate perceived strategic gains. History shows the cost of attacking Iran is predictably and prohibitively high. This understanding doesn't require agreement with Iran's government or policies. It's a sober assessment of capabilities and resilience. To respect Iran's strength is not to endorse its actions, but to acknowledge a reality forged over centuries. The phrase, "do not mess with Iran," is not a threat. It is a summary of a long and complex history. It is a pragmatic warning, grounded in the evidence of past wars, that a conflict with Iran would be unlike many others. It would be a fight against not just an army, but a deep history, a rugged land, and a unified people defending their home. In the end, the clearest lesson from Iran's warrior legacy is a powerful argument for peace. Understanding an adversary's strength is the first step in avoiding needless conflict. Iran's history is also one of rich diplomacy, trade, and cultural exchange. Recognizing its power and historical perspective is essential to building a more stable and peaceful future. The facts of history do not compel conflict. They compel caution, respect, and a diligent search for alternatives. War is a heavy burden, and Iran's history proves it is a burden it has learned how to bear, at great cost to all involved. Do not mess with Iran.